actually started?
Just now.
Ah.
What's up, bookers? Welcome to Book Club. Continuing here with chapter 15. We are on page, I believe, top of 845.
Yes.
Are
Tippy
we
top.
still doing the group reading, or?
Well, so here's the thing. I was going to read a whole bunch of this. I read a whole bunch of it last time. I was going to read a whole bunch of it for this time, and then I didn't.
Ah.
I blame the weather. So,
Yeah.
we're just gonna do some reading here. Quick recap, right? So, Leopold Bloom was on a evening stroll past the red light district.
As one does.
Does the red light district predate red lights?
No.
Okay. They didn't
What
pick
would it be, like a red lantern?
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, so he was walking past the whorehouse, and then suddenly found himself on trial for crimes of being horny.
Mm-hmm.
He
Sent
was
himself to horny jail.
sentenced to death, but he escaped down a manhole and ended up on a date with a whore named Zoe outside of Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
And then a parade started about him and how great he is. Also, he went on this rant about how the real Flying Dutchmen are the capitalists.
Yes.
So I don't I don't really know where that came from or where it's going. But in response to his rambling, the parade shows up and claps.
Yes. Everybody clapped.
And everybody clapped. Yeah. Prolonged applause. Venetian masts, maypoles, and festal arches spring up. A streamer bearing the legends Keed Mile Felty.
Flawless pronunciation of Irish, my guy.
It's close, right? And Ma Tob Melech Israel spans the
Flawless
streets.
Hebrew, my guy.
Okay, so I don't think that is real Hebrew. Specifically, that double T at the beginning of a word.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, do the annotations give a translation for that? I've never
Yes, they
seen.
do.
I have never seen Hebrew transliterated with two T's at the start of a word.
Yeah. It is Hebrew. It is translated to "How goodly are thy tents, King of Israel," after Balaam's praise of the Israelites in the book of Numbers, chapter 24, verse 5.
Also, if it was actual Hebrew, Israel would start with a Y and not an I.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
It's bad
It's
translation.
Israel. But, well, I guess, who knows? I mean, it's entirely possible, because Bloom gets Latin wrong all the time, right?
Yes.
There's a pretty damn good chance that he would get Hebrew wrong, too, because he's not a practicing Jew. He just, he's just, like,
Plays one on
ethnically...
TV.
He's just... not even, he's just... He's just discriminated against as if he was a Jew. Really. Yeah. All the windows are thronged with sightseers, chiefly ladies. Among the rout, the regiments of the Royal Dublin Fusiliers, the King's Own Scottish Borderers, the Cameron Highlanders, and the Welsh Fusiliers stand to attention. Keep back the crowd. Boys from high school are perched on lampposts, telegraph poles, windowsills, cornices, gutters, chimney pots, railings, rainspouts, whistling and cheering the pillar of the cloud. What? Whistling and cheering the pillar of the cloud appears?
Yes.
Huh?
It's talking about the cloud pillar,
What cloud pillar?
the one from Exodus.
I'm not acquainted.
When God was leading the Israelite through Moses out of Egypt, in the day they were led by a big cloud, and at night it was a pillar of fire.
Huh.
Uh,
Neat.
as they were moving towards the promised land across the Sinai.
A fife and drum band is heard in the distance, playing the Kol Nider. The beaters approach with imperial eagles hoisted, trailing banners and waving oriental palms. The chryselephantine papal standard rises high, surrounded by the pennons of the civic flag. Yeah, I'm not going to read this entire thing here, but
It just goes.
it goes. I will skip
It
down to this
goes.
more fun part. After them march the guilds and trades and train bands with flying colors, coopers, bird fanciers, millwrights, newspaper canvassers, law scriveners, masseurs, vintners, trust makers. What's a vintner? Chimney sweeps, lard refiners, tabinet and poplin weavers, farriers, Italian warehousemen, but only the Italians, church decorators,
Jersey?
bootjack manufacturers, undertakers, silk mercers, lapidaries, salesmasters, court cutters, assessors of fire losses, dyers and cleaners, export bottlers, fellmongers, ticket writers, heraldic seal engravers, horse repository hands, bullion brokers, cricket and archery outfitters, riddle makers, egg and potato factors, hosiers and glovers, plumbing contractors. After them march gentlemen of the bedchamber, Black Rod, Deputy Garter, Goldstick, the Master of Horse. Okay, there's definitely got to be annotations explaining what the hell they mean by gentlemen of the bedchamber.
Yes.
Those feel like part of
the official
support.
staff of like a lord of the House of Lords.
Uh-huh.
He's now like before this was all like
I thought
at the very
gentlemen
start
of the
this-
bedchamber meant like male prostitutes.
No.
I mean, they might
It's
do
literally
that
the
too.
servants who serve the Lord while he's in bed. But
Yeah.
like just sort of standing there and going,
they,
yes, sir.
they suck his dick.
I mean, I would assume so.
The Master of Horse, the Lord Great Chamberlain, the Earl Marshal, the High Constable carrying the Sword of State, St. Stephen's Iron Crown, the Chalice, and Bible. 4 buglers, I almost thought that said like burglars. 4 buglers on foot blow a senate. Beefeaters reply, winding clarions of welcome. Under an arch of triumph, Bloom appears, bareheaded, in a crimson velvet mantle trimmed with ermine. Ermine? Bearing St. Edward's staff, the orb and scepter with the dove, the curtana. He is seated on a milk-white horse with long flowing crimson tail, richly caparisoned with golden headstall. Wild excitement. The ladies from their balconies throw down rose petals. The air is perfumed with essences. The men cheer. Bloom's boys run amid the bystanders with branches of hawthorn and wren bushes.
So my guy's gone from being on trial, from being too horny and almost being attacked by BDSM judges, to writing into Dublin as Charlemagne.
So, what's interesting, first of all, he's outside of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And yet...
And yet, there's
It's-
Italians here.
well, they're getting like a UK parade.
Yeah.
Also, he has been interrupted. His dialogue has been interrupted by a parade in which he is marching in.
Yeah.
So, what's going on there?
If I can
Let's
interrupt myself
move
real quick.
swiftly past Britain into Israel and also the other country that is near Israel before we cause an international incident.
All right, who wants to read some dialogue? I think
Yeah.
because there's going to be a lot of characters just appearing and then disappearing, instead of trying to keep track who does what line, we'll just go like clockwise.
Hang on. Let me actually download it to my phone because I'm currently away from my computer.
Quality.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that if we drew a circle
Mm-hmm.
whose center was the midpoint between three of us
Yeah.
and extended it out such that we all lied along the circumference.
Mm-hmm.
In which direction?
Huh?
Counterclockwise.
Outwise. From the direction I'm currently facing.
Mhm.
Andrew would be clockwise from me.
What page are we on?
847.
8. There we go. Found it.
Yeah. So I'll start, and then whoever goes second, and we'll just keep going. Bloom's boys. He's got his own boys. The wren, the king of all birds. St. Stephen's his day was caught in the furs. What's a furs?
I don't know.
I'm gonna Google it. Furs. It's a plant.
Cool.
It's a
For the honor of God. And is that Bloom? He scarcely looks 31.
how old
That's
is
the
Bloom?
famous Bloom now. The world's greatest reformer. Hats off.
Wait, reformer?
Yeah.
You're, all the stuff he was saying about the
For
Fine
di-
Dutchman.
By denouncing the evils of capitalism?
He's now a reformer.
Incredible. True praxis. Isn't all uncover their heads. Women whisper eagerly. Isn't he simply wonderful?
All that man has seen.
And done.
Masculinely? What?
A feminist, masculinely.
This is. Hold on, we gotta take a second to appreciate this. The millionairess speaks richly.
Yeah.
The noblewoman speaks nobly. And the feminist speaks masculinely.
Sick
little bit of
burn,
social
Joyce.
commentary
Sick
there.
burn on the suffragettes.
Unfortunately, the bell hanger does not speak bellishly.
He speaks Bell Endley.
Ha.
He has a classic face. He has the forehead of a thinker. Oh, sick. We brought out the calipers.
Bloom's weather. A sunburst appears in the northwest.
I here present your undoubted Emperor, President, and King Chairman, the most serene and both, and very
Poisson.
puissant,
Doesn't
ruler of this
poisson
realm.
mean fish?
No,
That's
if
croissant.
there's an O. That's
That's
poisson.
puissant.
Yeah.
Ruler of this realm, God save Leopold the First.
God save Leopold
save
the
Leopold
First.
First.
In
Come on, Jake.
dalmatic and purple mantle to the Bishop of Down and Connor with dignity. Thanks, somewhat eminent sir.
Thank you, Blue. What a lad.
I love this man. Alright, someone read some lines.
All right. Will you to your power cause law and mercy to be executed in all your judgments in Ireland and territories thereunto belonging? Blue. Well, I'm just gonna screen cap this right now, and this is going on Twitter.com. I'm gonna get some content out of this.
So may the Creator deal with me. All this I promise to do.
Did you cup your balls as he said that? If you don't, it's not authentic.
So there's actually a bit of meaning that we can draw here, right? Because
Oh, like where normally you might swear on a Bible, he's swearing on his balls.
yeah, but remember, Bloom, having failed to produce a male heir, has a bit of insecurity about his virility.
Mmm.
Oh yeah. The annotations actually has a paragraph about him putting his hand on his
Oh,
balls.
hell yeah, read that shit. Let's go.
A form of oath-taking signifying the sacred nature of man's reproductive capacity, as recorded in the book of Genesis 24, verses 2 and 3. Quote, and Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house that ruled over all the land, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and I will make thee swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of the earth.
What page of the annotations are you on right now?
I'm on 492, going on 493,
492.
which confusingly does not match up with the in-book text, which is great.
Wait, which page numbers are you going by?
The digital one left, 492 in the little box that says page number up top.
Well, see, when I do that, it figures out the offset and puts me on page 510.
That's crazy. Mine doesn't do that at all.
492.
Yeah, it's 15.14814, second column all the way down.
Uh,
It goes on to the next page.
what page number in the book?
In the book,
Yeah,
or in the annotations?
on the annotations. What does it say in the
On the
top left of the page?
It says 473 and 474, but in the little find the page box, it's 493.
Got it. Lacing. What a good line. Samuel Beckett cites it as Irish. What is one to think of the Irish oath sworn by... What is one to think of the Irish oath sworn by natives with
What
the
is
right
one to
hand on the relics of the saints and the left hand on the virile member? What is one to think?
Much to think about.
This really says a lot about society.
Says nothing about our society.
Hold on. Okay, I missed this when you read the quote, but Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house,
I read that.
they rolled over all the land that he had,
Mhm.
put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh.
Yes.
So the servant is praying, or is not praying, is swearing on Abraham's
balls.
nuts,
Yes.
not his own nuts.
No, he's swearing under Abraham's nuts, as Abraham is the father of 3 religions, and all children, they get along just fine.
But isn't it a little weird to make your servant grope your balls?
You're literally talking about Bible times. Everything was fucking weird back then.
I suppose.
I swear on your balls.
But why would you swear on someone else's balls?
Well, you don't want to lose your balls.
That's the point of making someone swear on their own balls. It's like, you're not going to swear on someone else's mother.
No one else is mine to swear on.
What a wacky and wild world it was back then.
Alright, let's get on from the cuffing.
Shall we
Michael,
continue?
Archbishop of Armagh, pours a cruse of hair oil over Bloom's head. Gaudium magnum annuncio vobis, habemus carnificum. Leopold, Patrick, Andrew, David, George, be thou anointed. So instead of proper anointing oils here, they're just using hair oil.
Yeah.
Traditionally,
joke.
they would use sperm oil.
What?
That is to say, oil made from the head goop of the sperm whale.
Oh. Right.
So called because it looks like jizz. That's not a
Is that
joke.
real?
That's the etymology. They're like, wow, this
Huh.
weird goo inside of the whale's head kind of looks like semen. We'll call it a sperm whale.
Wild.
Yeah.
Two great tastes that taste great together.
Anyway, yeah, because whale head sperm was very hard to get your hands on, it was very expensive, and so when they picked the most expensive things they could find to use in the coronation ceremony, they're like, hell yeah, we want some whale head cum. Bloom assumes a mantle of cloth of gold and puts on a ruby ring. He ascends and stands on the Stone of Destiny. The representative peers put on at the same time their 28 crowns. Joy bells ring in Christ's Church, St. Patrick's, George's, and Gay Malahide. Myris bizarre fireworks go up from all sides with symbolic phallo-pyrotechnic designs. That's a good phrase. Symbolical phallo-pyrotechnic designs.
Mm-hmm.
The peers do homage, one by one, approaching and genuflecting.
Mm-hmm.
I do become your liege, man of life and limb to earthly worship.
Bloom holds up his right hand, and though the wireless intercontinental interplanetary transmitters are set for reception, so he's broadcasting to the universe in his own dream, which is that's what I do every night.
My subjects, we hereby nominate our faithful charger, Copula Felix, hereditary Grand Vizier, and announce that we have this day repudiated our former spouse and have bestowed our royal hand upon the Princess Celine, the splendor of the night. Who is Celine? Where the hell did she come from? What happened to Zoe?
Former organastic?
Organic?
Organic?
What the fuck does
Organic.
that mean?
Like, I started reading, I'm like, oh, this looks easy. Like, that word doesn't look hard, but then you get to it, it's like, wait, that's not a real word. I have no idea how to say that.
Celine, according to the notes, is the sister of the sun god Helios.
Yeah,
who
okay,
was
I
the
know
moon.
who it is. Why
Yeah.
is that the one that Bloom is marrying?
His girlfriend turned into the moon.
That's rough, bro.
Alpha Bloom
All media is just James Joyce's Ulysses in other form.
is hastily removed from the Black Maria. The Princess Celine, in moon blue robes, a silver crescent on her head, descends from a sedan chair, borne by two giants, an outburst of cheering. What's a sedan chair?
Literally, like
The
a
chair that
sedan.
people
It's
carry.
a chair with two wheels, or it's a chair. It's a chair with two doors on either side.
Ah, okay.
Very big palanquin. Morganatic means relating to or denoting a marriage in which neither the spouse of lower rank nor any children have any claim to the possessions or title of the spouse of higher rank. So it's a kind of political marriage between two people of unequal social ranks in which the lower does not have any claims on the inheritance of the higher's estate
I
and
see.
lands.
Okay, yep. Crusader King stuff.
Yeah.
I'm running out of Crusader Kings jokes here because there's only like 3 you can make.
Buy the DLC.
Yeah, well,
Each DLC comes with 2 additional jokes. Speaking of, I gotta see if there's any good sales on Paradox DLC. Anyway, so he has announced to everyone on every continent and planet that he is marrying the moon.
he's married the moon. But the moon is of lower social standing than he is.
No,
and so
no,
does
no,
not
no.
get claims to
His
his land.
previous wife was of lower social standing than he is. The
Okay.
former morganatic spouse of Bloom is hastily removed in the Black Maria, whatever the Black Maria is. The Princess Celine in moon
a
blue
rock.
robes descends from the sedan chair. Outburst of cheering. John Howard Parnell raises the royal standard. Illustrious Bloom, successor to my famous brother. Someone read a line. You're killing me here.
Yeah.
We thank you from our heart, John, for this right royal welcome to Green Erin, the promised land of our common ancestors. Freedom of the city is presented to him embodied in a charter, The keys of Dublin, crossed on a crimson cushion, are given to him. He shows all that he is wearing green socks.
You deserve it, Your Honor. Green socks?
Yeah. Apparently this is a joke. At the expense
Oh,
of
I thought it
real-
was written entirely seriously.
It could be.
Oh,
Never
I
know.
see. The joke is that Parnell thought that green was an unlucky color. Wait. I don't get it.
And the thing is, right, and because he was like a representative of Ireland, not wearing green when you are like representing Ireland is one of these like weird political faux pas, like John Kerry getting his Philly with Swiss. That, it's one of these things you're supposed to do when you're in politics. Keep up the theater, and he was failing to do the theater.
Uh-huh. I don't get it. Maybe it would help if I knew who John Howard Parnell was.
Yeah, well, yeah, you just have to have an encyclopedic knowledge of the history of Ireland, the Western literary canon, and any other things.
Every
and so
other
on.
thing.
You literally have to be James Joyce to understand James Joyce.
Simply become James Joyce. Cover yourself in James Joyce. All right, now we gotta talk. Let's just get to the enemies at Ladysmith. They're hereditary enemies.
On this day, 20 years ago, we overcame the hereditary enemy at Ladysmith. Our howitzers and camel swivel guns played on his lines with telling effect. Half a league onward, they charge. All is lost now. Do we yield? No. We drive them headlong. Lo, we charge. Deploying to the left, our light horse swept across the heights of Plevna, and uttering their war cry, Bonafide Sabaoth, sabered the Saracen gunners to a man. Hear, hear.
Here, here. That's the man who got away, James Stevens.
Bravo!
You're a credit to your country, sir. That's what you are.
He's a man like Ireland once.
My beloved subjects, a new era is about to dawn. I, Bloom, tell you verily it is even now at hand. Yea, on the word of a Bloom, ye shall ere long enter into the golden city, which is to be New Bloomusalem, in the Nova Hibernia of the future. Fucking
Now he's become
Bloomusalem.
Jesus.
He has become Jesus. 32 workmen wearing rosette, maybe more like a Moses.
Well, the quote here is a Jesus quote, so...
Oh, okay. 32 workmen wearing rosettes from all the counties of Ireland under the guidance of Derwan the Builder construct the new Bloomusalem. It is a colossal edifice with crystal roof built in the shape of a huge pork kidney containing 40,000 rooms. In the course of its extension, several buildings and monuments are demolished. Government offices are temporarily transferred to railway sheds. Numerous houses are razed to the ground. The inhabitants are lodged in barrels and boxes, all marked in red with the letters LB. Several paupers fill from a ladder. A part of the walls of Dublin, crowded with loyal sightseers, collapses. They built this in the middle of Dublin!
Yeah, they just bulldozed Dublin.
The sightseer is dying.
Morituri
Morituri
Salutant.
salute. They die.
Sick reference.
That's a reference?
Well, some of it is. The Latiny bits, it's sort of a corruption of those who are about to die salute thee, which is how the gladiators saluted the Romans, the Roman emperor. So they're like, necessary sacrifices for the new Bloomusalem.
You know what they say, you can't make new Bloomusalem without cracking a few tourists.
Yeah. Well, nobody likes tourists anyway. But then there's a twist. The man in the Macintosh returns.
Oh my god, he's back!
Springing up through a trapdoor, he points an elongated finger at Bloom and says, "Don't you believe a word he says? That man is Leopold McIntosh, the notorious fire raiser. His real name is Higgins."
So,
Shoot him! Dog of a Christian, so much for a Mitosh.
so, for those who don't remember, the man in the Macintosh was one of the focal characters of, I believe, the previous James Joyce's, like, immediate prior work.
So this is expanding the James Joyce cinematic universe.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All I really know is that there was a guy in a Macintosh being a style of coat. And people didn't know who he was.
Yeah, at the funeral.
Well, he showed up again in the funeral as a throwback to his previous work.
Yeah.
And then he shows up again at the parade to be shot with a cannon.
Yeah.
Hang on, I have to compose a sick tweet here.
Gotta interrupt the posting with more posting.
Live tweeting the podcast.
Morituri te salutant. Alright, sick tweet. A cannon shot. The man in the Macintosh disappears. Bloom, with his scepter, strikes down poppies. The instantaneous deaths of many powerful enemies, graziers, members of parliament, members of standing committees are reported. Bloom's bodyguard distribute Mondi money?
Yeah.
Mondi? What is...
Like,
Silver. It's silver coins worth. Oh God, terrible British units. It's alms. It's alms to the poor.
They were coins specifically minted to be given out as alms to the poor.
Yeah.
the poor coins.
Yeah.
So that whenever you spend them, people know that you're poor.
They
Yeah.
printed a
It is
bunch of
England, after
pennies
all. It is a society built on shame.
to give to people as gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're technically legal tender. But it doesn't actually say how much they're worth.
It says like 1D,
Oh,
2D.
1
I'm
penny,
like,
2 pence, 3 pence, or 4 pence. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
these
I
were
refuse to
literally
recognize
pennies. So they would print like specific coins so that when the royals attended mass, they could put these in the collection box instead of real coins.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Bloom's bodyguard distributes Mondi money, commemoration medals, loaves and fishes, temperance badges, expensive Henry Clay cigars, free cow bones for soup, rubber preservatives in sealed envelopes tied with gold thread, butterscotch, pineapple rock, billets due in the form of cocked hats, ready-made suits, porringers of toad in the hole. I'm sorry, what? Is that like egg in the hole? Toad in the hole.
The annotation says it's a dish
It
of
is! No, it's not.
meat or
Wait.
fried.
Okay, that's an egg in the hole. That's not a toad in the hole.
Yeah, toad in the hole just looks to me like another word for chicken fried steak.
Toad in the hole is sausages in pudding batter. Basically,
Oh.
basically you just bake
God.
a whole bunch of sausages into a pie thing.
Oh, why is British cuisine so fucking vile?
I actually
Fucking
know many of the answers to that question, but it's out of scope for this podcast. Stick around afterward for a
guessing the
Patreon
answer
exclusive
from
of why British cuisine is so fucked. Toad in the hole. Bottles of Jay's fluid. Purchase stamps. 40 days' indulgences. Spurious coins. Dairy-fed pork sausages. Theater passes. Season tickets available for all tram lines. Coupons of the Royal and Privileged Hungarian Lottery. Penny dinner counters. Cheap reprints of the world's 12 worst books. Froggy and Fritz. Politic. Care of the Baby. Infantilic. 50 meals for 7-6. Clinic. Was Jesus a sun myth? Yes. Historic. Expel that pain. Medic. Infant's Compendium of the Universe. Cosmic. Let's all chortle. Hilaric. Canvassers Vade Meckham, Journalic. Love letters of mother assistant. Oh, hey, Nick. Erotic. Who's Who in Space. Asterisk. Songs that reached our heart. Melodic. Pennywise's Way to Wealth. Parsimonic. Alright, we gotta read all these books.
Only Care of the Baby is real.
What?
Yeah, it's fake. Everything else is fake.
Well, is Care of the Baby a bad book?
No, it's just a mother's manual. Like one of these.
I gathered by the
apparently
name.
The full
Yeah.
title is fucking incredible. It's The Care of the Baby, a manual for mothers and nurses containing practical directions for the management of infancy and childhood in health and in disease, 2nd edition, revised.
How do you know he's referring to the 2nd edition and not the first?
Good fucking question. Yeah, but the annotations have divined that one from this fucking
Quite
corpse.
convinced. Must have been in a letter that Joyce wrote. A general Russian scramble. Women press forward to touch the hem of Bloom's robe. Yeah, so Nick, let me get you caught up here. So if you recall from last time, Leopold Bloom was sentenced to death by his own guilty conscience, dove down a manhole, and went on an awkward date with a whore named Zoe outside of Jerusalem. Well, suddenly, his speech about the evils of the capitalist hobgoblins was interrupted by a parade of which he himself is in honor of himself, who has been crowned king of the universe and is now making decrees.
Including the building of Bloom Usalem.
Bloomusalem, yes. A 40,000 room mega mansion in the middle of Dublin.
In the shape of a kidney.
In the shape of a beef kidney.
Nice.
They had to demolish
kidney.
most of Dublin. There were casualties. The Lady
he's
Gwendolyn
become God.
Dudabot bursts through the throng, leaps on his horse, and kisses him on both cheeks amid great acclamation. A magnesium flashlight photograph is taken. Babes and sucklings are held up.
Father, little father.
Clap hands till Polly comes home. Cakes in his pockets for Leo alone.
Incredible how they got all of the babies to sing in unison. Oh man, Baby Boardman's here! Bloom, bending down, pokes Baby Boardman gently in the stomach. Baby Boardman, hiccups, curdled milk flowing from his mouth. Bloom, shaking hands with a blind stripling. My more than brother, placing his arms around the shoulders of an old couple. Dear old friends. He plays Pussy Four Corners with ragged boys and girls. Peep, Bo Peep. He wheels. Someone please Google what Pussy Four Corners is.
I've got it. It's a kids game in which 4 children occupy the corners of a square, while the 5th, who is known as the Puss, attempts to secure a corner when the others change. It's musical chairs.
Oh, okay.
It's played on like a 4 square
Gotcha.
thing.
He performs
Again,
juggler's
they
tricks,
didn't have
draws
real
red,
entertainment
orange,
back
yellow,
then.
green, indigo, and violet silk handkerchiefs from his mouth. Roy G. Biv, 32 feet per second. He consoles a widow. Absence makes the heart grow younger. He dances the Highland fling with grotesque antics. Leg it, ye devils. He kisses the bed sores of a palsied veteran. Honorable wounds. He trips up a fit policeman. You pee up. You pee up. He whispers in the ear of a blushing waitress and laughs kindly. Ah, naughty, naughty. He eats a raw turnip offered to him by Maurice Butterly, farmer. Fine. Splendid. He refuses to accept 3 shillings offered him by Joseph Hines, journalist. My dear fellow, not at all. He gives his coat to a beggar. Please accept. He takes part in a stomach race with elderly male and female cripples.
Hell
Come
yeah.
on, boys. Wriggle it, girls.
May the good God bless him. And then the standard of Zion is now hoisted.
Hang on, I gotta compose another tweet. Me taking part in a stomach race with elderly male and female cripples. Come on, boys.
Wriggling.
Wriggling girl. Send tweet.
Yeah. And now Bloom, who uncloaks impressively, revealing obesity, and unrolls a paper and reads the following solemnly.
What the Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Haggadah, Tefillim, Kosher, Yom Kippur, Hanukkah, Rosh Hashanah, Beni, Bar Mitzvah, Mazoth, Ashkenazim, Meshuggah, Talith. Okay, so
This is the Hebrew equivalent of pizza, pasta, lasagna as Italian.
So,
yes,
okay.
This is the equivalent of the Swedish Chef.
The first 4 of those there. So he starts off reading the Hebrew.
All right, kill the drop. We're gonna get sued. Parody, fair use.
In Minecraft. So he starts off reading the Hebrew alphabet, right? Aleph, Bet, skips Bet because it's technically the same as Bet. Gimel, Dalet, it's supposed to be Hey. And then he just starts listing off words. I guess just the only Hebrew words he knows.
Well, to be fair, these are the only Hebrew words I know. So he's staying relatable to the people.
Also, a brief is the circumcision ceremony. Just throwing that one out there. It's like a baptism, but they cut the foreskin off. But yeah, it basically has the exact same significance as the baptism does in Christianity. Because circumcision is a sign of a covenant with God. I forget which covenant.
The original one, isn't it?
Probably. I just remember that there was a joke in Sunday school with, like, after Noah makes his ark and there's a flood, and God is like, I give you the rainbow as a covenant that I will never again destroy the world. And I forget who it was that did the original covenant, but the guy was like, really? I had to cut my foreskin off for the last one. It's pretty funny.
I assume that would have been Abraham.
Again, I don't keep track of these.
There's a lot of begatting in the Old Testament.
All they do is begat!
It gets complicated.
Who knew that Neo
now Jimmy
Yokio was
Henry
a choice
reads the
reference?
translation of this very real Hebrew. The court of conscience is now open. His most Catholic Majesty will now administer open-air justice, free medical and legal advice, solution of doubles and other problems, all cordially invited. At this, our royal city of Dublin in the year first of the paradisiacal era.
What am I to do about my rates and taxes?
Pay them, my friend.
Thank you.
Can I raise a mortgage on my fire insurance?
Sirs, take notice that by the law of torts, you are bound over in your own recognizances for 6 months in the sum of £5.
A Daniel, did I say? Nay, a Peter O'Brien.
Where do I draw the £5?
Pisser Burke for bladder trouble?
Acid, nit, hydrochloric acid, diluted to 20 minimums. A tincture of noxious vom, 5 minimums.
Minims.
Extract of-
Extra-taraxyl eek, 30 minims, acdis, tur, and die.
What the fuck is this?
Okay.
This is
Did you guys
this
ever
is the kind of
recipe?
this is the kind of
Annotations.
prescription that a doctor would write to be given to a chemist to mix you a medicine.
Mm.
Chemist being
Remember-
like the pharmacist guy, not
Yeah.
a laboratory
Yeah.
chemist.
He has ascended to becoming the God Emperor, and now he's dispensing medical advice and legal advice and other advice. He's become the God Emperor and started a podcast. Ah.
Is
Right.
this actual treatment for bladder trouble?
At the time, and yeah, because it's dilute in hydrochloric acid, some bitters, and then dandelion. It's homeopathic medicine. That's what it is.
Uh-huh.
It's some flour stuff, some stomach acid, and then just distilled
Just
in
mix
water.
some
Yeah,
shit
it's-
together.
Yeah.
What is the parallax of the subsolar ecliptic of Aldebaran?
Pleased to hear from you, Chris. Me too.
Why aren't you in uniform?
When my progenitor of sainted memory wore the uniform of the Austrian despot in a dank prison, where was yours?
You didn't really answer my
Pansies?
question.
Embellish
Embellish,
suburban
beautify,
gardens.
suburban gardens.
When twins arrive?
Father, start thinking.
I don't understand. What's going on?
He's taking questions from the audience.
These are
Yeah.
the kind of answers that I would give when someone asks me a question in my dreams that would make complete sense to me.
Well, I think we have established that Leopold Bloom is having a waking nightmare, so I think that fits.
Speaking of things that come to me in a dream, Brandon, should I share on the podcast my hilarious dream joke from the other day?
You know what? We need the
Well,
content.
you mentioned it. Now you have to.
All right,
Get
so
back down.
okay. So, I was, as I often am, scrolling Twitter before I go to bed, and someone posted a screenshot of some nuclear hot take about cultural Marxism.
Oh boy.
And I was like, what even the fuck is cultural Marxism anyway? Like,
It's
yeah,
literally just a
obviously,
term they
obviously,
made up.
yeah, I know, it's not a real thing, but like, what do people think it is?
Mm.
And, this was my, it was like, okay, there's a thing, I don't remember what it's called, it's like a mantra, but it's not a mantra, it's this is
razor?
mantra in like the actual Buddhist sense. Mantra being like a thing that you repeat to achieve enlightenment.
Oh.
But it's a question. It's a question with no answer that you ponder, such as
Like,
the
what is- who
such
is
as the
John
famous
Galt?
"What is the sound of?" Who is John Galt?
We know who John Galt is.
I don't. I haven't read
He's
the
a
book.
dick.
But like the "What is the sound of one hand clapping?" Right?
Isn't he the man who hits you with the golf club and tells you to obey?
Yeah, something like that.
Sure, basically.
So as I was falling asleep, I was just thinking, like, what is cultural Marxism? And this percolated down to my subconscious. And I woke up in the middle of the night because I thought of a joke so funny that I woke myself up by laughing. And then I was like, should I get out of bed and write this down? No. If it was actually funny, I'll just remember it in the morning. Also, I couldn't tell if it was actually funny because I was asleep still. And then I couldn't remember what it was when I actually got up in the morning, and then it came to me like a couple days later. So it was an archery contest called Cultural Marksmanshipism. It's the funniest joke I've ever thought of. Anyway,
A lot of build-up.
the the moral of the story is the things that you think of in a dream, they don't make any sense. And this is
Ooh.
definitely some in a dream nonsense. Which suggests perhaps that this is not literally happening as described on the book.
No, really? Bloom hasn't become the God Emperor and broadcasting his thoughts into
Wait,
fucking
is
space?
Blue Musalem not a real place?
I fucking wish it was.
Not with that attitude.
It, fuck, it's
That
like
explains
fucking
why I hadn't heard of it
Polnareff
until
land.
now.
Alex is like fucking Polnareff land.
Blue Musalem will be the first city in the IAA micronation.
Wait, is
I'm
gonna-
Polnareff
I'm gonna-
land a Ulysses reference?
Hang on, I'm gonna make a image edit.
Okay. All right. Meanwhile, where are we here? An 8-day
Uh,
license for my new premises. You remember me, Sir Leo? When you were in number 7, I'm sending around a dozen of stout for the missus.
You have the advantage of me. Lady Bloom accepts no presents.
This is indeed a festivity.
You call it a festivity, I call it a sacrament.
When will we have our own House of Keys?
I stand for the reform of municipal morals and the plain 10 commandments. New worlds for old, union of all, Jew, Muslim, and Gentile, 3 acres and a cow for all children of nature, saloon motor hearses, compulsory manual labor for all parks open to the public day and night, electric dish scrubbers, tuberculosis, lunacy, war, and mendicancy must now cease.
Oh, thank
General
God,
amnesty.
finally a leader who has the balls to end tuberculosis.
Weekly carnival with mask
Tuberculosis
license,
is
bonuses
banned.
for all. Esperanto, the universal language with universal brotherhood. No more patriotism of bar spongers and dropsicle imposters. Free money, free rent, free love, and a free lay church and a free lay state.
Amen.
Free fox and a free hen roost.
Fox on box on socks on Knox.
I love that
Mixed
song.
races and mixed marriage.
I was listening to that before the podcast. What about mixed bathing?
Bloom explains to those near him his schemes for social regeneration. All agree with him. The keeper of the Kildare Street Museum appears dragging a lorry on which are the shaking statues of several naked goddesses. Venus Calliope, Venus Pedamos, Venus Metempsychosis, and Plaster Pictures.
Venus
Also naked, representing the new
Metempsychosis?
9 muses. Commerce, operatic music, amor, publicity, manufacture, liberty of speech, plural voting, gastronomy, private hygiene, seaside concert, entertainment, plans, subsectors, and astronomy for the people.
I'm not sure if those are the 9 muses. Oh, the new 9 muses.
How the fuck did you read that fast?
I took technical writing.
He's in TV production.
Yeah, I work in media, so they teach you how to do the fast reading.
He is an Episcopalian, an agnostic, an anything Arian, seeking to overthrow our holy faith.
I'm disappointed in you, you bad man.
You beast! You abominable person! Removes her boot to throw it at Bloom. What is going on?
Yeah, just a lot is happening.
Yeah, a lot is happening. Why?
Give us a tune, Bloom, one of the old sweet songs.
I vowed that I would never leave her. She turned out a cruel deceiver. With my tooraloom, 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 tooraloom.
Stage Irishman.
You miss good old Bloom.
Well,
There's
shoot
nobody
me.
like him after all. That's an important line.
No, it isn't.
What railway opera is like a tram line in Gibraltar? The Rose of Castile. I don't get it.
Yeah, well, neither do I, so let's just keep going.
Plagiarist. Down with Bloom.
I'm a Bloomite and I glory in it. I believe in him in spite of all. I give my life for him, the funniest man on earth.
Bloom winks at the bystanders. I bet she's a bonny lassie.
What is it? I'm being an adult.
Posted in book club.
Nice. Hang on, I'm gonna put this one on the fridge.
Do it for him. Good for her.
There we go. Going to build Bloomusalem.
You could take that quote and spam it underneath your favorite VTubers and see if they like you.
I bet she's a bonny lassie.
No, giving your life for him, the funniest man on earth.
Oh.
You just
He employs a mechanical device to frustrate the sacred ends of nature. What does that mean?
So I was distracted making that edit. What page are we on?
We are at the top of 859. The veiled Sybil stabs herself. My hero god. She dies.
Sybil's here.
Many most
Yeah,
attractive and enthusiastic women also commit suicide by stabbing, drowning, drinking prussic acid, aconite, arsenic, opening their veins, refusing food, casting themselves under steamrollers from the top of Nelson's Pillar into the great vat of Giddis's brewery, asphyxiating themselves by placing their heads in gas ovens, hanging themselves in stylish garters, leaping from windows of different stories.
Just jumping into a giant vat of beer.
Alexander J. Dowie violently.
Hold on.
with a capital Y
You have
at
to,
the
yeah,
end.
you have to properly emphasize the Y in violent E.
Violently. Fellow Christians and anti-Bloomites, the man called Bloom is from the roots of hell, a disgrace to Christian men, a fiendish libertine from his earliest years. This stinking goat of Mendes gave
sure.
Precocious.
ferocious signs of infantile debauchery, recalling the days of playing with a dissolute grandam. This vile hypocrite, bronzed with infamy, is the white bull mentioned in the Apocalypse. He is a worshipper of the Scarlet Woman. Intrigue is the very breath of his nostrils. The stale faggots, I can say that word, and the cauldron of boiling oil are for him. Caliban.
Lynch him. Roast him.
Roast him.
He's as bad as Parnell was. Mr. Fox. Mother Grogan throws her boot at Bloom. Several shopkeepers from Upper and Lower Dorset Street throw objects of little or no commercial value. Ham bones, condensed milk tins, unsaleable cabbage, stale bread, sheep's tails, odd pieces of fat. This is Midsummer Madness. Some ghastly joke again. By heaven, I am guiltless as the unsunned snow. It was my brother Henry. He is my double. He lives in number 2 Dolphin's Barn. Slander, the Viper, has wrongfully accused me. Fellow countrymen, Sganel in bon bada costi gon kapal. I call on my old friend, Dr. Malachi Mulligan, sex specialist, to give medical testimony on my behalf.
In Motor Jerkin, green motor goggles on his brow. Dr. Bloom is bisexually abnormal. He has recently escaped from Dr. Eustace's private asylum for the demented gentleman. Born out of bedlock hereditary epilepsy. Epilepsy, sorry, is present. The consequences of unbridled lust. Traces of elephantitis have been discovered among his ascendants, and there are marked symptoms of chronic exhibitionism. Ambidextrity is also latent. He is prematurely bald from self-abuse. Don't touch yourself, kid. You'll make yourself go bald. Perversely idealistic in consequence, a reformed rake, and has metal teeth. In consequence of a family complex, he has temporarily lost his memory, and I believe him to be more sinned against than sinning. I have made a pre-vaginal examination, and after application of the acid test to 5,427 anal, auxiliary, precordial, and pubic hairs, I declare him to be Virgo intacata.
Yeah. That's
He
Latin,
has
isn't it?
a child. He had 2, but he still has 1 living kid. Oh, right.
Well, Malachi
It's not
says
his.
he's got an intact
Yeah, I get
hymen,
it.
so
I got it.
because we all know is how that works.
Yeah, you can confirm the virginity by applying acid to pubic hairs.
1,427 hairs.
You need a statistically significant sample size.
Like he
I'm
kept
sorry.
telling-
Bloom
that
holds
sentence
his
is a fucking
high-grade hat
drill
over
tweet.
his genital organs.
Goddamn drill tweet.
Me. After application of the acid test to 5,427 anal, axillary, pectoral, and pubic hairs, I declare him to be Virgo intacta. I'm not actually going to compose that one. That was fair game if any of you want it.
No, I don't want to get banned.
Hypospadia is also marked. Someone Google that. In the intent,
It's,
on it.
It's a malformation of the male genitourinary tract, according to the annotations.
Does that mean he dick don't work?
Oh, now have to look up genitory because they didn't fucking.
So when I Google that, like, fourth thing that comes up is James Joyce.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just going to assume
This is a
he's got
recurring problem
malformed
that I have when
penis.
looking things up about Ulysses. I just get quotes from
or like
Ulysses.
the tube that goes inside. So he's got malformed plumbing inside of his bits.
Nice.
His pee hole is twisted.
In the interest of coming
There's like a
generations,
duck down there. It's
I
fucking
suggest that the
corkscrewed.
parts affected should be preserved in spirits of wine in the National Teratological Museum.
I've examined the patient's urine. It is albuminoid. Salivation is insufficient. Patellar reflex is intermittent.
The Fetor Judaicus is most perceptible. I wonder what
Professor
that
Bloom
means.
Is a finished example of
Jew
the
stank.
new womanly man.
Huh.
His moral. So Dr. Dixon says Leopold Bloom's a femboy.
Nice.
His moral nature is simple and lovable. Many have found him to be a dear man, a dear person. He is a rather quaint fellow on the whole. Coy throughout, not feeble-minded in the medical sense, he has written a really beautiful letter, a poem in itself, to the court missionary of the Reformed Priest Protection Society, which clears up everything. He is practically a total abstainer, and I can affirm that he sleeps on a straw litter and eats the most Spartan food, cold-dried grocer's peas. He wears a hair shirt of pure Irish manufacture, winter and summer, and scourges himself every Saturday. What does that mean?
Whips himself with a scourge.
Ah.
And just
Gotcha.
as we're paused here, according to the annotations, because this is some wild shit. Womanly man is a phrase from Otto Weininger's Geschlecht und Charakter, which is a wildly anti-Semitic
Oh,
text that argues and misogynist as well. That argues that Judaism is saturated with femininity, and Jewish men are therefore womanly, passive, and non-men.
I
So
see.
Joyce is again doing. I think this is satire of the sort of crank, like eugenics and eugenics adjacent medical science.
I mean, his doctor diagnosed him with lovable.
I diagnose you with being a bisexual, nice man
Thank you.
who is too horny, but also has an intact hymen, but also has malformed genitals.
He was, I understand, at one time a first-class misdemeanant in Glencree Reformation. Another report states that he was very posthumous child. I appeal for clemency in the name of the most sacred word our vocal organs have ever been called upon to speak. He is about to have a baby.
Okay,
Oh,
we made it to the
man.
Empreg stuff.
We made it to the Empreg! Woo! General commotion and compassion. Women faint. A wealthy American makes a street collection for Bloom. Gold and silver coins, blank checks, banknotes, jewels, treasury bonds, maturing bills of exchange, IOUs, wedding rings, watch chains, lockets, necklaces, and bracelets are rapidly collected. Bloom. Oh, I so want to be a mother.
Embrace me tight, dear. You'll be soon over it. Tight, dear.
Bloom embraces her tightly and bears 8 male yellow and white children. They appear on a red carpeted staircase adorned with expensive plants. All the octuplets are handsome, with valuable metallic faces. Well made, respectably dressed and well conducted, speaking 5 modern languages fluently, and interested in various arts and sciences. Each has his name printed in legible letters on his shirt front. Nasodoro, Goldfinger, Chrysotomos,
Goldfinger!
Main Dory, Silver Smile, Silber Selber, Vifargant, Panegyros, Panargyros.
Are these a reference to something?
The annotations
To JoJo's
say,
Bizarre Adventure, probably.
Nasodoro is Italian for nose of gold. Chrysotomos says go back to chapter 1. Mandarin says it's French for hand of gold. Silber is German for silver self. Vifargrant is French for quicksilver. And Panarygrios is Greek for all silver. So that's hopefully that clears that up. Those are helpful
Okay.
annotations. Would have never figured that out otherwise. So he's become a woman
They are
and
immediately
given
appointed to
birth to
positions
metal
of high
babies.
public trust in several different countries as managing directors of banks, traffic managers of railways, chairman of limited liability companies, vice chairman of hotel syndicates.
A voice says, "Bloom, are you the Messiah, Ben Joseph or Ben David?"
Ben is Hebrew for son of. Fun fact. You have said it.
Uh, then perform a miracle like Father Charles.
Prophecy who will win the Saint Leger. Bloom walks on a net, covers his left eye with his left ear, passes through several walls, climbs Nelson's pillar, hangs from the top ledge by his eyelids, eats 12 dozen oysters, shells included. Is that what counts as a miracle these days? Heals
I
several
just like the
sufferers
idea
from
of-
King's evil. Contracts his face so as to resemble many historical personages. Lord Beaconsfield, Lord Byron, Wat Tyler, Moses of Egypt, Moses Maimonides, Moses Mendelssohn, Henry Irving, Rip Van Winkle, Kossuth, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Baron
Jean-Jacques
Leopold
Rousseau.
Rothschild, Robinson Crusoe, Sherlock Holmes, Pasteur, turns each foot simultaneously in different directions, bids the tide turn back, eclipses the sun by extending his little finger.
I just love the idea, one, of being like, who's the more saintly, and having a miracle competition. Also,
Imagine that. The Saints
Also-
Olympics.
also, prove you're a saint. Watch this. Turns each foot in different directions.
Interesting use of the phrase turns each foot rather than turns both feet.
Yeah.
How many feet
Do
does
you
he have?
want to catch up on the annotations on these names, or just want to sort of move on?
I recognize
recognize
most of
most
these
of those.
names.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can skip.
Let's
the
get
most
on to this
cities.
much more exciting passage here. Briny, Papal Nuncio, in Papal Zouave's uniform, steel cuirasses as breastplate, arm plates, thigh plates, leg plates, large profane mustaches, and brown paper mitre. Leopoldi Autumn Generatio. Moses begat Noah, and Noah begat Eunuch, and Eunuch begat O'Halloran, and O'Halloran begat Guggenheim, and Guggenheim begat Agendith, and Agendith begat Netaim, and Netaim begat Lahirsh, and Lahirsh begat Jesurum, and Jesurum begat Mackay, and Mackay begat Ostrolopsky, and Ostrolopsky begat Smerdaz, and Smerdaz begat Weiss, and Weiss begat Schwarz, and Schwarz begat Adrianople, and Adrianople begat Aranjuez, and Aranjuez begat Louis Lawson, and Louis Lawson begat Ichabodonasor, and Ichabodonasor begat O'Donnell Magnus, and O'Donnell Magnus begat Christbaum. And Christbaum begat Ben Maimon, and Ben Maimon begat Dusty Rhodes, and Dusty Rhodes kind of sounds like a porn star name.
Yeah.
And Dusty Rhodes begat Benamor, and Benamor begat Jones Smith, and Jones Smith begat Savorgnanovich, and Savorgnanovich begat Jasper Stone, and Jasper Stone begat Vigtetunium, and Vingtetunium begat Zombathily. And Zombathily begat Virag, and Virag begat Bloom, et vocabitur nomen eus Emmanuel.
Was
Bloom is a
that meant
god.
to be like the male descendancy to Bloom?
Yeah, from Moses.
Yeah, via a bunch of jokes, some fictional characters, several famous Jewish families, German cities, Austrian cities, a couple of puns, and some other some locations, some villages in the south of England, some generic English names, and a few other weird puns.
Alright, hit me with a pun.
Weiss begat Schwartz apparently is a German pun for white begat black.
I
That's it,
get
yes.
it. I don't get it.
Me either. And some of these names just say unknown after them in the annotations. I'm like, cool. Me too.
Cool, cool.
A dead hand writes on the wall, Bloom is a cod.
Crab in Bushranger's kit. What did you do in the cattle creep behind Kilbarack?
And under Ballybow Bridge.
And in the Devil's Glen,
Bloom blushes furiously all over from Franz to Nate's, 3 tears filling from his left eye. Spare my past.
please don't cancel me.
And the evicted tenants, and who are in body coats, knee breeches, with a Donnybrook Fair shillaglax. Zambook him.
Bloom, with ass's ears, seats himself in the pillory with crossed arms, his feet protruding. He whistles Don Giovanni, a senior teco. Artane orphans joining hands caper round him. Girls of the prison gate mission joining hands caper round in the opposite direction.
You hing, you hog, you dirty dog. You think the ladies love you.
If you
If you
see
see
K,
K,
tell him he may. C-U-N-T, tell him from me. So again, he just put himself in the stocks.
What's a hing?
Oh, buddy.
Is that like a major slur? I just casually read.
What the prison girls gate are singing? It's an acrostic for F-U-C-K.
Oh.
Tell him he may C-U-N-T. They're calling him a fucking cunt.
That's funny. That's a good one. I like that
I'm
one.
gonna start using that instead of country matters. So now I have 2 ways. Be useful in traffic.
I can't find the meaning for hing.
Where does it say hing?
H-I-G. Or hig? Hig. H-I-G.
Oh.
I have no idea what
I
that
don't think
means.
it really means anything.
The
Obviously,
source
like,
of this
some
street
kind of
rhyme is unknown.
insult. But
Unknown. Well, I mean, we were past the Mpreg stuff, so it's all downhill anyway. All right, so the hornblower, and he shall carry the sins of the people to Azazel, the spirit which is in the wilderness, and to Lilith, the night hag. And they shall stone him and defile him, yea, all from Agendath Netaim, and from Mizraim, the land of Ham.
Hamland.
All the people cast soft pantomime stones at Bloom. Many bona fide travelers and ownerless dogs come near him and defile him. Mastiansky and Citron approaching gabardines wearing long earlocks. They wag their beards at Bloom. Mastiansky
Wild.
and Citron.
Belial, Lamaline of Istria, the false messiah, Abulafia, recant. Some
George R. Messius, Bloom's tailor, appears, a tailor's goose under his arm, presenting a bill. To alteration, 1 pair trousers, 11 shillings.
Bloom rubs his hands together. Oh no. Just like old times. Poor Bloom.
Reuben J. Dodd, black-bearded Iskrat? I don't know what that means.
Iscariot.
Scary, probably.
Bad shepherd, bearing on his shoulders the drowned corpse of his son, approaches the pillory. Whispers hoarsely, "The squeak is out. A spit is gone from the flatties. Nip the first rattler."
Paflap. What does that mean?
Brother Buzz invests Bloom in a yellow habit with embroidery of painted flames and a high-pointed hat. He places a bag of gunpowder around his neck and hands him over to the civil power, saying, "Forgive him his trespasses."
Thank heaven. He sets fire to Bloom.
Bloom, in a seamless garment marked IHS, stands upright amid phoenix flames. Weep not for me, O daughters of Erin! He exhibits to Dublin reporters traces of burning. The daughters of Erin, in black garments with large prayer books and long lighted candles in their hands, kneel down and pray. Kidney of Bloom, pray for us. Flower of the Bath, pray for us. Mentor of Menton, pray for us. Yeah, I'm not gonna read this whole thing. It's boring.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Zoe's
catch
back.
Up what's going on?
Potato preservation against plague and pestilence, pray for us.
Yeah. Now he's gone from being king of the Jews to every form of Jewish persecution is happening to him at once, as that had occurred up to the point of when the book was written.
Nice. Good thing there were never any new and exciting forms of anti-Semitism debuting after this book was written.
Nope. Yeah.
Nothing comes to mind.
That couldn't happen again. One of the fingers on the button will be jamming.
A choir of 600 voices, conducted by Vincent O'Brien, sings the chorus from Handel's Messiah Alleluia, for the Lord God omnipotent reigneth, accompanied on the organ by Joseph Glynn. Bloom becomes mute, shrunken, carbonized.
Talk away till you're black in the face.
In cabine, with clay pipes stuck in the band, dusty brogues, an emigrant's red handkerchief bundle in his hand, leading a black bogwhack pig by a sagwan, with a smile in his eye. Let me be going now, woman of the house, for by all the goats in Connemara, I'm after having the father and mother of a baiting, with a tear in his eye. All insanity, patriotism, sorrow for the dead, music, future of the race, to be or not to be. Life's dream is o'er. End it peacefully. They can live on. He gazes far away mournfully. I am ruined. A few pastilles of aconite. The blinds drawn. A letter. Then lie back to rest. He breathes softly. No more. I have lived. Fair. Farewell.
Honest, till the next time. Suppose you got up the wrong side of the bed or came too quick with your best girl. Oh, I can read your thoughts.
Man and women love. What is it? A cork and bottle. I'm sick of it. Let everything rip.
I hate a rotters that's insincere. Give a bleeding whore a chance.
I am very disagreeable. You are a necessary evil. Where are you from? London?
Hogs and Norton where the pigs plays the organs. I'm Yorkshire born. I say, Tommy Tittlemouse, stop that and begin worse. Have you cash for a short time? 10 shillings?
Bloom smiles, nods slowly. More, hurry more.
And Moore's mother? Are you coming into the music room to see our new pianola? Come and I'll peel off.
Bloom, feeling his occiput dubiously with the unparalleled embarrassment of a harassed peddler, gauging the symmetry of her peeled pears. Somebody would be dreadfully jealous if she knew, the green-eyed monster. You know how difficult it is. I needn't tell you.
What the eye can't see, the heart can't grieve for. Come.
Laughing witch, the hand that rocks the cradle.
Abby.
Abby. Bloom, in baby linen and pelisse, big-headed with a caul of dark hair, fixes big eyes on her fluid slip
Come, sissy.
and counts its bronze buckles with a chubby finger, his moist tongue lolling and lisping. 1, 2, tlee, tlee, tlu, tlun.
Love me not, love me.
Silent means consent. It does not. Just gonna.
So,
Affirmative
Bloom
yes,
has
people.
turned into a
Affirmative
baby.
yes. Hot hands, cold gizzard, and the lizard wizard.
He hesitates amid scents, music, temptations. She leads him towards the steps, drawing him by the odor of her armpits, the vice of her painted eyes, the rustle of her slip, whose sinuous folds lurk the lion reek of all the male brutes that have possessed her.
Exhaling sulfur of rut and dung, ramping in their loose box, faintly roaring, their drugged head swaying to and fro. Good! Also, I'm as we're going through this, I'm just like imagining like the pornographic tags being added to this. Mel tag for one, armpit fetish for another.
Why did he turn into a baby?
Because she calls him Babby.
Why does she call him Babby?
I'm beginning to think I'm beginning to see what's happening here. I think in the real world, he hired a whore, and all of this dream shit is what's going on in his head while he's fucking her. And so, like, when he was having the good time in the dream, he was the God Emperor. Now that he's done having sex with the whore and he's having the shame and regret, it's now all bad thoughts.
He's in sage mode and regretting everything,
Yeah.
and just like hating himself,
And turning into a baby.
as one does.
Oh God. Oops! Don't fall up the stairs.
The just man falls 7 times. After you is good manners.
Ladies first, gentlemen after.
She crosses the threshold. He hesitates. She turns and, holding out her hands, draws him over. He hops. On the antlered rack of the hall hang a man's hat and waterproof. Bloom uncovers himself, but seeing them, frowns, then smiles, preoccupied. A door on the return landing is flung open. A man in purple shirt and gray trousers, brown socked, passes with an ape's gait. His bald head and goatee beard upheld, hugging a full water jug jar. His two-tailed black braces dangling at heels. Averting his face quickly, Bloom bends to examine on the hall table the spaniel eyes of a running fox. Then, his lifted head sniffing, follows Zoe into the music room. Zoe.
Yeah.
A shade of mauve tissue paper dims the light of the chandelier. Round and round a moth flies, colliding, escaping. The floor is covered with an oilcloth mosaic of jade and azure and cinnabar rhomboids. Footmarks are stamped over in all senses. Heel to heel, heel to hollow, toe to toe. Feet locked, a morris of shuffling feet without body phantoms, all in a scrimmage higgledy-piggledy. The walls are tapestried with a paper of yew fronds in clear glades. In the grate is spread a screen of peacock feathers. Lynch squats cross-legged on the hearth rug of matted hair, his cap back to the front. With a wand, he beats time slowly. Kitty Ricketts, a bony, pallid whore in navy costume, doe-skin gloves rolled back from a coral wristlet, a chain purse in her hand, sits perched on the edge of the table, swinging her leg and glancing at herself in the gilt mirror over the mantelpiece. A tag of her corset lace hangs slightly below her jacket. Lynch indicates mockingly the couple at the piano.
She's a bit imbecilic. She signs with a waggling forefinger. Blem.
Blem blem.
Blem.
Blem blem.
Lifts up her skirt in the
Lynch?
white petticoat.
David?
In the white petticoat with his wand, she sells
Any
them
readers?
down quickly. I'm not sure if that's meant to be euphemistic.
No.
Repeat yourself.
Respect yourself.
Then bends quickly, her sailor hat under which her hair glows red with henna. Is that the Indian tattoo stuff?
I thought it
I
was.
guess they're using it as cheap hair dye.
Oh, excuse.
More limelight, Charlie. She goes to the chandelier and turns the gas full cock.
What ails it tonight?
Enter a ghost and hobgoblins.
Clap on the back for Zoe. The wand in Lynch's hand flashes, a brass poker. Stephen stands at the pianola on which sprawl his hat and ash plant. With 2 fingers he repeats once more the series of empty fifths. Florrie Talbot, a blonde, feeble, goose-fat whore in a Tandermalian gown of mildewed strawberry, lolls spread eagle in a sofa corner, her limp forearm pendant over the bolster, listening. A heavy sigh droops over her sleepy eyelid.
Oh, excuse.
Your boy's thinking of you. Tie a knot on your shift. Kitty Ricketts bends her head. Her boa uncoils, slides, glides over her shoulder, back, arm, chair to the ground. Lynch lifts the curled caterpillar on his wand. She snakes her neck, nestling. Stephen glances behind at the squatted figure with its cap to the front. Where did Bloom go?
As
Why
a matter
is
of fact,
Stephen
there's a
here?
villain
Where
poet
did
who had
Bloom
been
go?
Detto Marcello Panther made it. Right as the poet's rest. Maybe an old hymn to Demeter, or also illustrate the Coela in Arand Gloriam Domini. It is susceptible of nodes or modes as far apart as Hyperphrygian and Mixolydian, and of texts so divergent as priest hail high hooping around David's that it's Circe's. What I'm saying, Ceres is altar, and David's tip from the stable to his chief bassoonist about the alrightness of his almightiness. Mais nom de nom. That is another pair of trousers. J'étais la gomme, faute que je ne sais se passer. He stops, points at Lynch's cap, smiles, and laughs. Which side is your knowledge bump? Back at it again with calipers.
Is because it is. Woman's reason. Jew Greek is Greek Jew. Extremes meet. Death is the highest form of life. Bah.
You remember fairly accurately all my errors, boasts, mistakes. How long shall I continue to close my eyes to disloyalty? Waystone.
Bah.
Wow.
Bah.
Bah. Bah, 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 bah.
Here's another for you, he frowns. The reason is because the fundamental and the dominant are separated by the greatest possible interval, which
finish you can't.
Interval which is the greatest possible ellipse, consistent with the ultimate return, the octave, which
Outside the gramophone begins to blare the holy city.
what went forth to the ends of the world to traverse not itself, God, the Sun, Shakespeare, a commercial traveler, having itself traversed in reality, itself becomes that self. Wait a moment, wait a second. Damn that fellow's noise on the street. Self, which itself was ineluctably preconditioned to become. Echo.
What learned speech, eh?
God help your head, he knows more than you have forgotten. With obese stupidity. Flory Talbot regards Stephen.
We need to pause for a minute.
Uh-huh.
We've just been trapped in like a minor version of Stephen arguing about Shakespeare, but now he's Stephen arguing about various musical scales.
Cool.
Joyce has interrupted the story for a 2-page debate about
Music theory.
Thank you. Where's our main character?
Where's
Where is he?
Bloom?
They say the last day is coming this summer.
Oh,
No.
great unjust God.
Well, it was the papers about Antichrist. Oh, my foot's tickling.
Stop press
Excuse
edition.
me, my foot's fallen asleep.
Result of the rocking horse races.
Walked
Sea
away.
serpent in the Royal Canal. Safe arrival of Antichrist. Stephen turns and sees Bloom.
And a half a time.
Oh shit, Bloom's back.
Reuben, I, Antichrist, wandering Jew, a clutching hand open on his spine, stumps forward. Across his loins is slung a pilgrim's wallet from which protrude promissory notes and dishonored bills. Aloft over his shoulder he bears a long boat pole from the hook, of which the sodden, huddled mass of his only son, saved from Liffey waters, hangs from the slack of its breeches. A hobgoblin in the image of Punch Costello, hip-shot, crook-backed, hydrocephalic, prognathic with receding forehead and alley sloper nose, tumbles in somersaults through the gathering darkness. What? The hobgoblin, his jaw chattering, capers to and fro, goggling his eyes, squeaking, kangaroo hopping, with the outstretched, clutching arms, then all at once thrusts his lipless face through the fork of his thighs. Il fait, c'est moi, le homme qui rit, le homme primigene. He whirls round and round with dervish howls. Sieurs et dames, faites-vous jus. He crouches, juggling. Tiny roulette planets fly from his hands. Les jeux sont faits. The planets rush together, uttering crepitant cracks. Rien va plus. The planets, buoyant balloons, sail swollen up and away. He springs off into vacuum.
Singing into Tupor, crossing herself secretly. The end of the world.
A female tepid effluvium leaks out from her. Nebulous obscurity
What?
occupies space. Through the drifting fog without the gramophone blares over coughs and feet shuffling. The gramophone.
Fucking
Jerusalem! Open your gates and sing. Hosanna! A rocket rushes up the sky and bursts. A white star fills from it, proclaiming the consummation of all things and second coming of Elijah. Along an indefinite invisible tightrope, taut from zenith to nadir, the end of the world, a two-headed octopus in ghillies kilts, busby and tartan filibegs, whirls through the murk, head over heels, in the form of the 3 legs of man.
Also, effluvium, an unpleasant or harmful odor, secretion, or discharge. Lovely.
Nice.
You should see a doctor about that. And now the end of the world is here with a Scottish accent. I'll dance the Neil Raw, the Neil Raw, the Neil Raw.
Over the passing drift and choking breath coughs Elijah's voice, harsh as a corn rake's, jars on high. Perspiring in a loose lawn supplice with funnel sleeves he is seen, verger-faced above a rostrum about which the banner of Old Glory is draped. He thumps the parapet. No yapping, if you please, in this booth. Jake Crane, Creole Sue, Dove Campbell, Abe Kirshner, do your coughing with your mouths shut. Say, I am operating all of this trunk line. Boys, do it now. God's time is 12:25. Tell Mother you'll be there. Rush your order, and you play a slick ace. Join on right here. Book through to Eternity Junction, the non-stop run. Just one word more. Are you a god or a doggone clod? If the second advent came to Coney Island, are we ready? Flory Christ, Stephen Christ, Zoe Christ, Bloom Christ, Kitty Christ, Lynch Christ. It's up to you to sense that cosmic force. Have we cold feet about the cosmos? No. Be on the side of the angels. Be a prism. You have that something within, the higher self. You can rub shoulders with a Jesus, a Gautama, an Ingersoll. Are you all in this vibration? I say you are. You once nobble that congregation, and a buck joyride to heaven becomes a back number. You got me? I don't got you.
The thing is, you're reading it, and I'm hearing this in like the style of like a Southern revival preacher.
Yeah, that's what I hear in my mind here.
Yeah.
It's a life brightener, sure, the hottest stuff ever was. It's the whole pie with jam in. It's just the cutest, snappiest line out. It is immense, super sumptuous. It restores, it vibrates. I know, and I am some vibrator. Joking apart and getting down to bedrock. A.J. Christ Dowie and the harmonial philosophy. Have you got that? Okay, 77 West 69th Street. You got me? That's it. You can call me up by sun phone any old time. Bum boozers, save your stamps. Now then, our glory song. All join heartily in the singing. Encore! Jerusalem, your hi-ho. The disc rasps gratingly against the needle. The horse. Ah!
I think Joyce is making fun of like American-style revival preaching, and I'm here for it.
This sounds like a radio preacher.
Yeah. Let me take this hat so I can do my radio preacher voice.
Okay, go for it.
Big brother up there, Mr. President, you hear what I've just been saying to you? Certainly I believe strong in you, Mr. President. I'm certainly thinking now Miss Higgins and Miss Ricketts got religion way inside them. Certainly seems to me I don't ever see no worse a scared female than the way you've been. Miss Flora, just now as I done seed you. Mr. President, you come along and help me save our sisters dear. Mr. President, he twigged the whole lot and he ain't saying nothing. Can I get an amen?
Amen!
I forgot myself. In a weak moment I erred and did what I did on Constitution Hill. I was confirmed by the bishop and enrolled in the Brown Scapular. My mother's sister married a Montmorency. It was a working plumber. It was my ruination when I was pure.
I let him lurup it into me for the fun of it.
Hey, lads. It was in consequence of a port wine beverage on top of Hennessy's 3 stars. I was guilty with Waylon when he slipped into the bed.
In the beginning was the Word, in the end the world without end. Blessed be the 8 Beatitudes. The Beatitudes,
Yes.
Dixon, Madden, Crothers, Costello, Lenahan, Bannon, Mulligan, and Lynch, in white surgical students' gowns, four abreast, goose-stepping, tramp fist past, and noisy marching. Huh?
Beer, beef, battle, bog, bully, bum, bussum, bar, buggle, bugger, gum, bishop.
Excellent. Nailed
In
it.
Quaker gray knee breeches and broad-brimmed hat, he is our friend. I need not mention names. Seek the light.
He corantos by. Best enters in hairdresser's attire, shinily laundered, his locks in curl papers. He leads John Eglinton, who wears a mandarin's kimono of nankeen yellow, lizard-lettered, and a high pagoda hat. Smiling, lifts the hat and displays a shaven poll from the crown of which bristles a pigtail toupee, tied with an orange topknot. It was just beautifying him, don't you know? A thing of beauty, don't you know? Yeats says, or I mean Keats says.
Produces a green-capped dark lantern and flashes it towards a corner with carping accent. What's a carping accent?
I don't know.
No idea.
Aesthetics and
Aesthetic.
cosmetics are for the boudoir. I am out for truth. Plain truth for a plain man. Tanderage wants the facts and means to get them.
In the cone of the searchlight behind the coal scuttle, Aleve, holly-eyed, the bearded figure of Mananan MacLear broods, chin on knees. He rises slowly. A cold sea wind blows from his druid mouth. About his head writhe the eels and elvers. He's encrusted with weeds and shells. His right hand holds a bicycle pump. His left hand grasps a huge crayfish by its two talons.
Impressive.
He says with the voice of waves, Hek wal ak lub morma, white Jochin of the gods, occult primender of Hermes, Trismegistos. With the voice of a whistling sea wind. I don't have sound effects in here. Punjaranjaram Patsy Punjab. I won't have my leg pulled. It has been said by one, beware the left, the cult of Shakti. Shakti Shiva, dark hidden father. He smites with his bicycle pump the crayfish in his left hand. On its cooperative tile glove, the 12 signs of the zodiac. He wails with the vehemence of the ocean. Aum baum pjaum. I am the light of the homestead. I am the dreamery creamery butter.
I'm imagining this is like the world's weirdest butter commercial.
Yeah, same.
A skeleton Judas hand strangles the light. The green light wanes to mauve. The
Mauve.
gas jet wails, whistling. Jesus Christ. The annotations for just that paragraph are like 3 pages.
Let's skip them. I don't care.
Lots of religious-y, occulty weirdness. And theosophy makes its return. Which means you get to bring back the swastika, but the one that's turned the other way, so it's not racist. Yeah. Okay. Alright, does anyone have a fag in here?
Here.
Here.
Is that the way to hand the pot to a lady? She stretches up to light the cigarette over the flame, twirling it slowly, showing the brown tufts of her armpits.
Why do they keep
Right,
talking
down,
about her
down.
armpits?
Lynch with his poker lifts boldly aside of her slip. Bare from her garters, upper flesh appears under the sapphire and Nixie's green. She puffs calmly at her cigarette. Can you see the beauty spot of my behind?
I'm not looking.
She makes sheep's eyes. Alright. No, you wouldn't do a less thing. Would you suck a lemon?
I would suck a lemon. Fucking love
You
lemons.
You literally have.
Yeah, they're good.
You did so on stream. We have the video.
No, that was Angelo.
You have the take.
Oh right, that was.
I remember the good old days when sometimes you'd hear Alex be like,
Oh yeah, when I
and
just
everyone would be like, and we'd all be like, hey, what just happened? And we're like, oh, I just took a swig of lime juice.
Concentrate lime juice.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Is that not a normal thing people do?
What
I
is
don't know. I'm
normal
not
anymore?
normal to begin with.
Squinting in mock shame, she glances with sidelong meaning at Bloom, then twists round towards him, pulling her slip free of the poker. Blue fluid again flows over her flesh. Hang on. Did I miss the last time blue fluid flowed over her
Was that
flesh?
the alluvium that dripped out of her previously? Was it blue?
I wrong answers only. Yes. Bloom stands, smiling desirelessly, twirling his thumbs. Kitty Ricketts licks her middle finger with her spittle, and gazing in the mirror, smooths both eyebrows. Lipoti Virag Basilocogramat shoots rapidly down the chimney flue and struts 2 steps to the left on gawky pink stilts. He is sausaged into several overcoats and wears a brown mackintosh under which he holds a roll of parchment. In his left eye flashes the monocle of Cashel Boyle O'Connor Fitzmaurice Tisdall Farrell. On his head is perched an Egyptian pshent. 2 quills project over his ears.
Virag heels together, bows. My name is Virag Lipoti of Saz Bothly. Promiscuous nakedness is much in evidence hereabouts, eh? Inadvertently, her back view revealed the fact that she is not wearing those rather intimate garments of which you are a particular devotee. The injection mark on the thigh, I hope you perceived. Good.
Grand Papachi, but
Number 2, on the other hand, she is of the Cherry Rouge. Is that Rogue or Rouge?
Rouge.
Rouge. Cherry Rouge makes more sense. And Coin Fuse White, whose hair owes not a little to our tribal elixir of gopher wood, is walking costume and tightly stayed by her sit. I know those words. I don't understand their meaning together.
Welcome
I
to
should
James
opine.
Joyce's Ulysses.
I should opine. Okay, this is his opinion. Backbone in front, so to say. Correct me. I always understood that the act so performed by skittish humans with glimpses of lingerie appealed to you in virtue of its exhibitionisticity. In a word, hippogriff. Am I right?
In a word, hippogriff.
Hippogriff.
You know,
Alright.
in a word, hippogriff.
Hippogriff. She is rather lean.
Absolutely! Well observed. And those painter pockets of the skirt and slightly peg top effect are devised to suggest bunchiness of hip. A new purchase at some monster sale for which a gull has been
Molted? Is that a real word?
Molted.
Where does Joyce find
Right
these
now.
words? Molted.
past tense, molted.
Past tense. Of mulked.
Extract money from by finer taxation.
Oh, okay. Now it makes sense.
Why
Or
are you
to
taxing a
deprive
gull?
someone of by fraudulent means. Such as taxes.
Why are you taxing a gull?
What is
Uh,
what does any of this mean?
Meretricious finery to deceive the eye. Observe the attention to details of dust specks. Never put on you tomorrow what you can wear today. Parallax. Why are they using parallax as just an exclamation?
Polysyllabics!
With a nervous twitch of his head, did you hear my brain go snap? Polysyllabics.
She seems
yeah.
sad.
Just
The
tilts his head
last
and
brain
cracks his
cell
neck.
just fucking shattered.
Oh, did you just say
She
sad?
seems sad.
Cynically, his weasel teeth bared yellow, draws down on his left eye with a finger and barks hoarsely. Hoax! Beware of the flapper and bogus mournful. Lily of the alley. Is Lily of the alley? Oh, is that meant to be like a joke about the flower Lily of the Valley?
I
Yes.
guess.
Lily of the alley.
Yeah, it is.
All possess bachelor's binds discovered by Raldius Columbus. Tumble her.
Columble her.
Tumbler. Chameleon.
Hold on, I gotta
Lord
look up
Lily.
Raldus. Wait, are there annotations for Raldus Columbus?
Yes, that is the clitoris.
He discovered the clitoris!
of which the anatomist Romulus Columbus supposed himself to have been the discoverer sometime in the 1500s, which is an interesting thing to
first-
claim.
Yeah,
On
the
account, I'm
first
fairly
man to
certain
discover
women
the clitoris.
existed before that point. So it took until the
What a
1500s
claim.
for a white guy to describe the clitoris in medical science.
Well
Fascinating.
then, permit me to draw your attention to item number 3. There is plenty of her visible to the naked eye. Observe the mass of oxygenated vegetable matter on her skull. What?
What?
What ho? She bumps. The ugly duckling of the party, long casted and deep in keel.
When you-
Jesus fuck.
When you
He's got
come
long
out
legs
without
and
your
has big
gun,
tit and has a big butt, and that cannot stop.
Don't stop. We can do you all brands, mild, medium, and strong. Pay your money. Take your choice. How happy could you be with either?
with
His tongue uncurling. Yum.
Liam.
Her beam is broad. She is coated with quite considerable layer of fat. Okay. Obviously mammal in weight and of bosom. You remark that she has in front well to the fore 2 protuberances, very respectable dimensions, saying she's got big tits.
She got
Yeah, she
fat
does.
titty.
Inclined to fall in the noonday sopulate.
Soup plate.
Soup plate. Oh, soup plate.
Who eats soup on a plate?
Right?
I think they ate soup on a plate in the before times.
Barbaric.
Before they
On her
invented
rear
bowls?
lower-
Well, some soups like I think it was more like stews, right? You had like a plate with a slight like dip in it, and then
It's
you
called
would
a
put like your
bowl.
really thick, sloppy
Called a bowl.
stews that are like more like
Uh-huh.
chunks than broth.
Gotcha.
Yeah, versus like you wouldn't put tomato soup on a plate.
While
Cowards.
on her rear lower down are 2 additional protuberances, suggesting of potent rectum and tumescent for palpitation, which leaves nothing to be desired save compactness. So not only does she have big tits, she's got a big ass.
Uh-huh.
And a
Much
potent
fleshy-
rectum.
Mm. Such fleshy parts are the product of careful nurture. When coop fattened, their livers reach an elephantine size.
Wait, are we
Pellets
talking
of
about
new bread.
faux gras now?
Pellets of new bread with fenugreek and gumbenjamin. What the fuck is gumben?
Gum Benjamin.
Yeah,
Gumben-
it's supposed to be fenugreek and benzoin, which is again how you stuff, which is the spices you put in the stuff to make pâté de foie gras.
Gum Benjamin is a kind of tree resin,
Huh.
Yeah.
sometimes
these-
used as a flavoring.
Swamped down by potions of green tea endo, then during their brief existence with natural pincushions of quite colossal blubber. That suits your book, eh? Flesh hot pots of Egypt to hanker after. Wallow in it. Lycopodium. His throat twitches. Flat bag. There he goes again.
The style I dislike.
Arches his eyebrows. Contact with a gold ring, they say. Argumentum ad feminanum. As we said in old Rome and ancient Greece, in the consulship of Diplodocus and
Ichthyosaurus.
Ichthyosaurus.
Those are
Yeah.
dinosaurs.
Yes, they are.
Yes, the 2 consuls.
Diplodocus and
Oh, dude, that would make
Ichthyosaurus.
history so much fucking sicker. Like the consuls of Rome were fucking dinosaurs. Oh yeah. That'd be
Saving
sick
as a
as hell.
detail for my next RPG setting. Actually, fuck it. Those guys are the current leaders of the Saurian Senate.
Cool. Diplodocus and
Traveler.
Ichthyosaurus.
For the rest of Eve's sovereign remedy, not for sale. Hire only. Huguenot.
Huguenot.
Yep.
It is a funny
Is
sound.
funny sound. He coughs
He's right.
encouragingly.
Huguenot.
But possibly it is only a wart. I presume you shall have remembered what I will have taught you on that head. That is an interesting temporal construction. What I will have on that head. Wheaten meal.
It's not.
with
It's. I
honey and
presume
nutmeg.
you shall have remembered
Remember,
what
you
I
shall
will
have
have
remembered
taught
what
you
I-
on that head.
Wow.
Some good shit, man.
Good shit.
Speaking of the good shit, we have 100 pages left to go in this chapter,
Hell yeah.
and it's 8:30.
Yeah.
So
How
we
much
gotta
more?
find an
Oh,
end
there's a
point, so,
lot
like,
more dialogue between.
It just keeps going.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna try and get to the end of Bloom and Virag's
No, it just goes.
whatever the hell this is, but we got at least 5 pages left of it. So
Take
what's
down the
going on?
That's a good question. I've been trying to see if there's anything in the annotations, and there isn't. It's just sort of describing what the words they're saying, and like, that this is a reference to that. That is a corruption of this saying. This is a reference to this. This is a reference to that. And like, that's great.
Yeah, but like,
I'm glad
what's
I know
going
that all
on?
of these things are references to other things, and that argumentum ad femininem is a hilarious joke of argumentum ad hominem, and that Diplodocus and Ichthyosaurus are in fact dinosaurs.
I knew that one.
And that there are recipes for warts, which, considering they are talking about a whore, is a good thing to cure. Very worried that that I think immediately after this he has to exercise his mnemotechnics, which is the art of memes and mnemonics, meme art, and it just. I think we're not quite back in reality. I think we're a lot closer to where we are in the real world than to where we were back when Leopold Bloom had become the God Emperor of the universe.
Yeah.
Um,
It's getting more normal.
yes, and less fun. But I do think my original theory is correct, but maybe with some reservations. Because if he's looking at the whores now, he couldn't have been fucking one earlier. So he might have just been in his own head to such a degree, and then he punished himself, and then he became the God Emperor in his own mind, and then he punished himself again by experiencing the entire history of anti-Semitism, and now he's at a whorehouse, and now he's talking with a guy who just sort of appeared, and I'm not sure if he's like the pimp. But
Certainly
yeah, they're
selling
talking.
the girls like he is.
But they're
Virag
talking
is his
about-
grandpa.
Wait, is he?
Yeah. Virag is his
Yeah, okay.
Hungarian grandpa.
Why is Grandpappy Virag at the whorehouse?
To give him
his
advice
mind?
on how to pick a whore correctly. I don't
It's a good
Thanks,
grandfather
Grandpa.
grandson bonding activity.
Yeah.
It's. I'm not entirely sure, but I would like to stop before I get hurt, and before any of our listeners get hurt, in an attempt to drag them any further.
Speaking of listeners,
Uh-huh.
I went back home for Thanksgiving with the family,
Oh God, did they hear the podcast?
and they were like, I think like it was my two brothers were like hanging out, and one of them was like, why is Alexander's name purple on Discord? And they clicked it, and it got pulled up my Twitch. So them and my dad were watching part of the book club for a couple minutes, which is like, Dad finds the book club podcast has to be like second only to Mom finds the OnlyFans.
I thought you were gonna say parents find the porn stash.
Speaking of OnlyFanses, did you know that there are VTubers who have OnlyFanses?
Really?
Oh,
Dude,
oh,
how does that-
no.
I don't know,
I mean,
but I was
guess
on
if you're into the Uncanny Valley, I guess.
was on the virtual YouTubers subreddit, and
Stop.
because there's a ton of like self-promotion posts on there, and one of them mentioned that they had an OnlyFans.
What content? Like, is it their like pictures of them in real life, or
I can only assume that it's
or
their
is it like
VTuber self.
like official pornography of their character. Or alternatively, I suppose you could do like ASMR stuff on there or something like
You
that.
could. I don't know. Maybe
Wild.
I'll maybe I'll do some research and report back on next episode of Book